Diablo II. The year 2000 marked the arrival of one of the most iconic PC games of all time, Diablo II. Blizzard took everything that worked in the first game and expanded it tenfold. The world of Sanctuary was darker, larger, and filled with more lore than ever before. Players could choose from 5 distinct classes, from the agile Amazon to the mighty Barbarian, each with skill trees that made every character feel unique. The Battle.net service connected millions of players, creating one of the earliest and most passionate online communities. For years, trading rare items like the Stone of Jordan became an economy of its own, combined with haunting music, gothic art direction, and terrifying bosses like Undariel, Mephisto, and Diablo himself. Diablo II didn't just dominate 2000, it became the blueprint for the entire action RPG genre. Grand Theft Auto 3. Few games in history have transformed the industry the way Grand Theft Auto 3 did in 2001. Rockstar Games took the controversial top-down crime simulator and rebuilt it into a living, breathing 3D world. Liberty City was gritty, atmospheric, and alive with possibilities. For the first time, players could step into a sandbox where freedom was the core mechanic. Steal a car, take on a mission, or simply wreak havoc across the city. It wasn't just the open world that shocked players, it was the level of immersion. Of course, the game sparked huge controversy due to its violence and adult themes, but this only made it more notorious and more popular. GTA 3 didn't just sell millions, it redefined how video games were perceived. Every open-world game that followed, from Assassin's Creed to Elder Scrolls, owes part of its DNA to Grand Theft Auto 3. The Elder Scrolls III: Morrowind. In 2002, Bethesda delivered a game that felt impossibly vast. The Elder Scrolls III: Morrowind, unlike anything else at the time, gave players an open world that wasn't just big, alien, mysterious, and rich with lore. The volcanic island of Vardenfell was filled with unique landscapes, giant mushrooms, strange architecture, and bizarre creatures that made the world feel truly otherworldly. What made Morrowind stand out was the sense of freedom. There were no hand-holding quest markers or linear paths. If you wanted to join the Mages Guild, become a thief, or simply wander the Ashlands discovering hidden tombs, the game let you do it. Though it had bugs and rough edges, Morrowind became a cult classic, laying the foundation for Bethesda's later masterpieces like Oblivion and Skyrim. For many fans, it remains the purest Elder Scrolls experience, a game that trusted players to carve out their own adventures in one of the most imaginative fantasy worlds ever created. Star Wars: Knights of the Old Republic. In 2003, BioWare gave the world Star Wars: Knights of the Old Republic, often simply called KOTOR. For fans of both RPGs and Star Wars, this game was a dream come true. Set thousands of years before the films, it allowed players to step into a fresh era of the Star Wars universe, free from the constraints of the movies. You weren't just watching Jedi and Sith, you became one, shaping your destiny through your choices. KOTOR's strength lay in its groundbreaking morality system. Every decision, whether you saved the innocent or gave in to cruelty, nudged your character toward the light side or the dark side. This wasn't just cosmetic. Your force powers, dialogue, and even your appearance changed as your alignment shifted. More than just a great RPG, KOTOR proved the video games could tell stories as rich and impactful as cinema. It elevated Star Wars lore, cemented BioWare's reputation as RPG masters, and became a blueprint for narrative-driven gaming.
Half-Life 2. When Valve released Half-Life 2 in 2004, it wasn't just a sequel, it was a revolution. Gordon Freeman returned, silent as ever, but now armed with one of the most iconic tools in gaming history, the gravity gun. With it, players could manipulate the environment in ways never seen before, creating puzzles and combat encounters that felt alive and dynamic. Every chapter was memorable, from the terrifying zombie-filled Ravenholm to the adrenaline-pumping airboat chase. Half-Life 2 didn't just raise the bar for shooters, it redefined them. It proved that first-person games could combine cinematic storytelling, cutting-edge technology, and gameplay innovation in a seamless package. Even today, it's remembered not only as one of the best games of 2004, but as one of the greatest of all time. Resident Evil 4. Capcom shocked the world in 2005 with Resident Evil 4, a game that reinvented survival horror. Gone were the fixed camera angles and tank controls. Instead, players experienced an over-the-shoulder perspective that would go on to influence almost every modern third-person shooter. Started as a simple mission, turned into a fight for survival against cultists, grotesque monsters, and the relentless chainsaw-wielding Ganados. The pacing was perfect, blending tense horror moments with thrilling action sequences. Resident Evil 4 wasn't just a hit, it was a phenomenon. Critics hailed it as one of the best games ever made, and its influence can still be seen in games like Gears of War and The Last of Us. For many, it's not just the best Resident Evil game, it's one of the best games in history.
The Elder Scrolls IV: Oblivion. In 2006, Bethesda once again raised the bar for open-world RPGs with The Elder Scrolls IV: Oblivion. Building on the foundation of Morrowind, Oblivion gave players a massive, detailed world that felt more alive than ever before. The lush forests, rolling hills, and bustling cities of Cyrodiil were breathtaking for the time, showcasing what the next generation of gaming could look like. What set Oblivion apart was its ambition. Radiant AI gave NPCs daily routines. They worked, ate, slept, and even reacted to your actions. The main quest, centered on closing the demonic Oblivion gates, delivered epic battles against terrifying Daedra. Yet for many players, the true magic was in the side quests, helping the Thieves Guild rise to power, unraveling dark mysteries with the Dark Brotherhood, or simply stumbling upon hidden caves and ruins. It set a new benchmark for role-playing games and paved the way for Skyrim. For many fans, it was the game that made them fall in love with open-world RPGs. BioShock. In 2007, BioShock arrived and instantly redefined what a story-driven shooter could be. From the opening sequence, a plane crash in the ocean leading to the mysterious lighthouse, players were transported to Rapture, an underwater city built on the dream of absolute freedom and destroyed by its own ambition. What set BioShock apart was its atmosphere. Rapture wasn't just a backdrop, it was a character in itself. Every hallway told a story of a utopia gone wrong. Gameplay blended gunplay with plasmids, genetic modifications that let you shoot fire, electricity, and ice from your hands. This mix of strategy and action made every fight dynamic. But the heart of BioShock lay in its storytelling. The shocking twist about Would You Kindly is still remembered as one of the greatest narrative moments in gaming history. BioShock didn't just entertain, it challenged what video game storytelling could achieve.
Grand Theft Auto 4. Rockstar returned in 2008 with Grand Theft Auto 4, bringing Liberty City back to life in unprecedented detail. Unlike the flashy excess of Vice City and San Andreas, GTA 4 focused on a darker, grittier tone. The story followed Nico Bellic, an immigrant chasing the American dream, only to be pulled into the violent underworld of organized crime. What amazed players was the realism. Liberty City felt alive. Pedestrians argued, taxis clogged the streets, and the physics system made every car crash feel brutal. The Euphoria engine gave characters natural animations, making gunfights and chases feel chaotic and cinematic. Nico's story was tragic and deeply human, exploring themes of loyalty, revenge, and the price of chasing dreams. For many, GTA 4 wasn't just about chaos, it was about connection to its protagonist. Critics hailed it as a masterpiece, and it set sales records worldwide. To this day, it remains one of Rockstar's most powerful stories. Uncharted 2: Among Thieves. In 2009, Naughty Dog released Uncharted 2: Among Thieves, a game that raised the bar for cinematic action adventures. Nathan Drake returned, this time in a globe-trotting quest filled with betrayals, romance, and ancient mysteries. From the breathtaking opening on a derailed train hanging over a cliff, players knew they were in for something special. Uncharted 2 combined thrilling platforming, explosive set pieces, and sharp dialogue that made it feel like playing through a Hollywood blockbuster. Every chapter delivered something new, escaping collapsing ruins, sneaking through snowy villages, or battling on a moving train, sequences that became legendary in gaming history. The game's polish was unmatched. Graphics, voice acting, and pacing all blended seamlessly, making Uncharted 2 one of the best PS3 exclusives ever released. Proved that games could rival movies in spectacle and storytelling, cementing Naughty Dog as one of the top developers in the industry.
Red Dead Redemption. In 2010, Rockstar once again changed the industry with Red Dead Redemption. If GTA was the king of modern crime, RDR became the ultimate Western. Set in 1911, it followed John Marston, a former outlaw forced by the government to hunt down his old gang members. The game's world was stunning. Vast deserts, snowy mountains, and bustling frontier towns. Wildlife roamed freely. Random encounters added unpredictability, and the day-night cycle made the world feel alive. But what truly made Red Dead Redemption unforgettable was its story. John Marston wasn't just a gunslinger. He was a man trying to escape his past and protect his family. The narrative was powerful, tragic, and grounded in human emotion. Red Dead Redemption wasn't just a game, it was an experience. It captured the spirit of the Wild West, blending freedom, action, and narrative into a masterpiece that defined 2010. The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. When Skyrim released in 2011, it didn't just dominate the year, it became a cultural phenomenon. Bethesda created a fantasy world so vast and immersive that players could lose themselves for hundreds, even thousands of hours. From the snowy peaks of the Throat of the World to the bustling city of Whiterun, every corner of Skyrim begged to be explored. What made it legendary was freedom. You could follow the epic main quest, battling dragons and learning the Dragonborn's destiny, or you could ignore it completely and spend your days stealing from townsfolk, brewing potions, or hunting in the wilderness. The Radiant Quest system ensured there was always something new to do. Mods extended the game's life endlessly, transforming it into everything from a survival simulator to a meme playground. Mass Effect 3. BioWare closed their beloved sci-fi trilogy with Mass Effect 3 in 2012, delivering one of the most ambitious and emotional games of the generation. Commander Shepard's war against the Reapers brought together years of choices players had made across the series, making every decision feel personal. The stakes were higher than ever. Earth burned, entire civilizations faced extinction, and Shepard had to unite the galaxy in a desperate fight for survival. Its combat system was the most polished in the series, blending tight shooting mechanics with biotic and tech powers for thrilling battles. And with the extended cut and DLCs, BioWare deepened the narrative even further. For many, it was the emotional payoff of years of storytelling, a bittersweet but powerful farewell to Commander Shepard. The Last of Us. In 2013, Naughty Dog proved that video games could rival cinema in emotional storytelling with The Last of Us. Set in a post-apocalyptic America overrun by a fungal infection, the game followed Joel and Ellie on a harrowing journey across the country. What set it apart was the relationship at its core. Joel, a broken man haunted by loss, and Ellie, a girl who symbolized hope, developed a bond that felt real, raw, and deeply human. The gameplay balanced tense stealth, brutal combat, and moments of quiet exploration. The infected were terrifying, but the real danger often came from other survivors, reflecting the darkest parts of human nature. The game's ending, controversial, shocking, and emotionally heavy, left players questioning morality and love. The Last of Us wasn't just the best game of 2013, it became one of the most celebrated stories in gaming, inspiring a remaster, a sequel, and even a hit TV adaptation years later.
Dragon Age Inquisition. In 2014, BioWare returned to high fantasy with Dragon Age Inquisition. Massive in scope, it blended political intrigue with epic battles against ancient evils. Players, as the Inquisitor, were tasked with closing the breach, a tear in the sky unleashing demons into the world. The game's strength lay in its depth. You could shape your Inquisition's philosophy, influence nations, and recruit companions with rich personalities. Exploration was at the heart of the experience. Combat mixed tactical planning with real-time action, letting players pause the game to command their squad or dive directly into the fight. While not flawless, Inquisition was ambitious and memorable, earning Game of the Year awards and proving BioWare could still deliver large-scale RPG experiences. It reminded fans why the Dragon Age series had become beloved. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. 2015 belonged to The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, a game so massive and masterfully crafted, it redefined open-world RPGs forever. CD Projekt Red delivered a living, breathing world where every quest felt meaningful and every choice carried weight. The writing was unparalleled. Side quests had the depth of main stories, like the tragic tale of the Bloody Baron or the political schemes of Novigrad. Choices were rarely simple, often blurring the line between good and evil. The world itself was breathtaking, sprawling landscapes, dense forests, bustling cities, and stormy seas that felt alive. The Witcher 3 wasn't just the best game of 2015, it became one of the greatest games of all time. It set a new benchmark for storytelling, world building, and player freedom. Even years later, it remains the gold standard for RPGs and an icon of the industry.